Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. How are we faring? It's getting very stormy, and we can't even see this on the visible graphs, the detectables. But I'm gonna get into acting probably giddy now, because the energies are going to get very, very high. So all veils lift. This is the big reveal. Are you ready? As within, so without. As above, so below. That is a very true statement, no matter who said this. And it's universal law. So the more we can be in our true self and speak our truth in every now moment and be vulnerable, obviously in the right situations with the right people, all the doors open. This is your true self fully revealed, which is revealing your true reality all around you, because that's you aligning with the Cosmic Christ blueprint. This is what we're doing here. And that's what's happening right now. So thank you so much for everyone who was part of the activation yesterday for the 20 seconds of the return of the Cosmic Mother and her supermagnetism within all. And this is full on now. So the 7 higher heavens are wide open. We are fully connected through the Syrian Stargate with the great central sun in the Godhead, throughout the dimensional layers and levels, the interdimensional stargates. It's all fully lighting up, being blitzed, cleared, activated, fully reclaimed. That's you reclaiming your own blueprint. Because all the stargates, the Katara grid, exists within you. The 12-pointed tree of life, which is what we're going to activate with the 27th. Keep your eyes peeled. I haven't got it all written down yet, but I'm getting a lot of downloads since we finished with our last activation, because this is what I'm being shown. It's like one step, one step, one step, because we never know what's exactly being created. And again, we're making this up as it goes along. And we keep making the magic happen. So thank you so much for those that were standing up and did this with me. This was really awesome. Amazing. Like, big ass magic is here now. All right. Biggest dreams fulfilled, because it's now all being magnetized to you, because you know yourself as one with all. Now, everybody's at a slightly different stage. Okay. I know this is purging a lot of fear right now. Anything that still remains that needs to be cleared for you to fully ascend. This is the fast track, especially if you're connected with my activations. So these calls are very potent, especially now as we have really like a concentrated, group of people that keep shifting a little bit, but it's held within a very sacred container, the highest protection. We're anchoring this on behalf of all and literally fulfilling our ancient future prophecies, again, all as one. There's only one of us here, which is what we're remembering, which is the debt forgiveness, which is the ticket out of the false matrix, which is based on victim-victimizer consciousness, polarity consciousness, you versus me, and you did this to me, and I did this to you. The thing right now is like you have to let all the stories go. Yes, you need to feel it to clear it, to let it all the way go now. But this is it. All together as one. Let it the fuck go now. You need to know when to let it go, because you can go around in these stories forever. That's what we have done forever. You did this to me, then I do this. Like, when I look back on my life, I did like stupid things, so to say. But ultimately, like the hardest things where I could say like, oh, wow, that was a bit stupid, or a lot. And there were a lot connected actually to my daughter. Although I also know there's absolute perfection in all of this, because I followed my guidance. But that was so hard for my human ego, like unbearable. I've cried so many tears. It's not even funny, but I know this is connected 144 to all other timelines. Whatever happens in this lifetime, it's connected to other timelines. I know I was here to heal the mother-child DNA, RNA, mitochondria. Like, again, because I carry this blueprint, which again holds the blueprint of all the 12 tribes within it. I have a lot to integrate, clear, alchemize. So that's why I share what I share, because I'm a forerunner who's gone through the initiations. And then when I share, you know, and something similar might happen to you, or it might be relevant in some way. It will help you to navigate it through much more quickly. This is sacred wisdom, sacred gnosis, especially my activations are sacred healing frequency medicine. And they're really connected to God's source consciousness. And again, I can't do this for you. I can only hold the door open, but you have to walk through it. As any healer, okay, or activator or guide can ever do for you. It's to remind you that you have it all inside of you already. You know, I'm all about self-empowerment. It's all about having, you know, everybody being sovereign and free, not being a follower, but being a fellow, and us all rising together as one, because that's what it takes for us to fully ascend now, all right? Those who are here to make this happen as the heart mind of the cosmic monad, of the collective cosmic body. So that's just our job. I leave also a couple of or three, I think 2 songs below that very fit into us reclaiming fully our divine feminine within, men and women alike. And again, if you want to still access this call, which really will connect you to your divine inner feminine creatrix and clear out all the shit, yeah, any fear, doubt, worries, insecurities, where you're not owning your true value and worth, where you're still in lack, where you still don't love yourself. But that's what needs to happen in order to get out the other end. So especially for men, I think this is will be a very helpful activation. It's if you want to access the timeless quantum replay, it's below in the description box. Before I forget, Ascension Express members, so it's like a monthly membership you can sign up for. And again, you get also what has happened until now, accessible through my Ko-fi page. And they are basically, in order to access, the way you access the replays or anything that's shared there, it's you just go to the post section on my Ko-fi page, and then they are basically highlighted, or kind of at the top you will see like a lock symbol, and it says Ascension Express. So it looks like a normal post, but it has different, you know, kind of, it's signified through that. So you just look at my Ko-fi page, at posts. I think most have figured this out, and that's how you access all the membership contents. Yeah, so all the calls that have been, and then all the calls we're going to do in activations over the next month. Whether it's going to be still over these silly technical apparatus or in person. Again, these are multidimensional experiences. And whenever we come together, do anything, again, this is like not just me talking to however many people are watching this on like YouTube, but it's a cosmic broadcast. Whenever we talk to the oneness. Even when you think, like everything is right now, it's all about what do you want to create? Because all of the distortions, all of the karmic load, all of this is gone now. But are you keeping running on autopilot? It's like fear or love. What you going to decide? Are you going to keep feeding old like stories that you've just been running for so long that are like running on autopilot? Because again, they're also connected to traumas and wounds, but this is the heartfully healing. But again, what I write about also is what comes in the field, what's been activated in the field and available now, and then it goes out to all. So yeah, not everybody feels what I'm talking about, the same as we all go through slightly different variations. You need to fully let go of not wanting to feel pain, not being in, not suffering. Because it's your attachment to it, any resistance that causes the suffering. And you can let go of the suffering as you stop even believing that your individual self is real, because it's not. Your individual self is a little soul, or, you know, so far, and obviously we're integrating our multidimensional self, so it's getting interesting now. And the forerunners, not everyone, the ascended master self, okay, those that have done the work, those that have really like followed the right, you know, the inner knowing. Like this is all about feeling your way through it. There's not one way, not one path, but there are, you know, different paths, and some are causing more suffering, and some have gotten stuck again in false side teachings, and this is all coming up across the board. Okay, and all of that is fully clearing along with the false ascension matrices and the matrix, all that's false inorganic and artificial. But you need to be willing to see where you've been wrong without attaching your ego, because again, your ego thinking it's getting everything wrong and you know, feeling shame, guilt, whatever, all of these places right now where you don't love yourself fully and feel not enough or have shame, guilt, regret, you just need to let go of your separate ego self, which you have to do as part of ascension anyway. You can keep telling yourself these stories until the cows come home. Like, this is the time to fully let it go, really, and create all new. You're the creator of your own story now. Tell yourself all new stories, take a review and say, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, blah, blah, blah. Once you got the lesson, you can let fully go. But yeah, you need to get a lesson. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck within a false ego self that keeps telling the stories and you're going down with the ship. I'm not saying anyone listening is at risk here, but generally, that's what's happening. So all the fear is being fully purged right now, one way or another. That's what needs to happen. So some of us, again, the experiences right now differ a lot. I feel really good. I had, after the activation, some insecurities coming up, but I just knew what they were and just observed them like as an interesting. And then just let them go. Because ultimately also, us just telling ourselves we're just great, blah, blah, blah. No, you're everything. You don't need to always feel great. It's okay to feel whatever. Just stop judging it. The judgment is the separation. Just observe. I'm also going to leave a link to a post I wrote today, or rather yesterday now on the 23rd of July, 5 years ago. And it was about kind of my time in Canada. And basically, when I started my journey, I just was guided to share openly my journey, not judging myself, just from a vulnerable heart. And people kept supporting me until this day, ultimately. Because for many years, I never got enough, you know, people kind of wanted to have sessions with me or, you know, light language activations. Because I also know this is not my main job here. Although then again, over 2.5 years ago, I was shown to just, you know, concentrate on groups, concentrate on just putting the stuff out there to as many people as possible to get the codes across, to get the navigational tips across. And I knew this was very valuable, but I also knew that's what was necessary in order to get the job done. But yeah, often I was like having arguments with the boss, so to say, of like, you know, finding it very frustrating, not basically charging for it. But it was necessary. And again, me following my guidance, putting it out there from an open heart, ultimately. And again, we can have those, you know, struggles. It's fully perfect. But always knowing I will always be supported has always carried me through. And yes, there are squeezes, but the squeezes are there in order to squeeze out any fear and any disbelief, because it's all about when you believe and trust that God has a plan for you and you follow that, as you follow your intuition and your heart, you're good here. That's you in alignment with divine will. That's you in alignment with God's source consciousness embodied. That's you in alignment with ultimate power. That's where the magic starts to happen. That's when you get your gifts and abilities back, your power. It's all interconnected, but you need to earn your stripes. You need to earn it through not abusing your power, not becoming corrupted, being integrous, and basically being in alignment with the virtues, ethics, and morals of the Christ, which are written into your DNA. You don't need a guidebook. You know it by feeling it. If you're connected to your heart, you know what's right and wrong in every now moment. And there's not one guidebook that tells you yes, no, right, wrong in that moment. No. That then leads to falseness, because what most people are repeating out there is again repeating something they've learned from someone else. It's not based on experience. Your experience is gold. That's what I mostly share. Sure, there are parts that I learned from somewhere, but mostly it's experience. And it's been hard earned. And I put everything into this. So this is my gold. This is my abundance. And we need to really value this right now. So the divine feminine within all of us. You have to own your value, your worth, your gifts, your abilities, the psychic, supernatural gifts and abilities, your whatever it might be. Maybe you do beautiful music. Maybe you paint beautiful pictures. Maybe it's something like me. Maybe it's just, I don't know, being a mother. Okay, not just anything about it. It's like, it's not so much about what you're doing. It's who are you being and how are you doing it? It's the emanation. It's the frequency you embody anchor, activate, and emanate out into the field. This is what changes your reality. And right now we need to go over 3D challenges, because I keep being shown, it's like, no, just we're going above it. So we're not trying to figure this out in 3D level. Although we still play with it, there's no resistance here, because it's a hologram. You need to become the child, okay, the Christ child that no longer takes it so seriously, because you know your avatar in the game, because you have transcended all those survival fears. So anything in the lower chakra system coming up right now, because it's fully collapsing and clearing, because it always connects with me to the lower 3 dimensions as well. So any survival fears, any like fear of suffering, you know, as all these low frequencies come in, fear, anxiety comes up. I mean, fear, anxiety, depression is one of the, you know, main parts of like all this ascension clearings. Because we're clearing out all these inverted ultimate thought forms and belief systems that's causing all the other mayhem. Okay, so this is all the pole shift, magnetic field shift is all, the consciousness shift is all about shifting from the mind to the heart. Just do that and you're fine. So stop believing your mind and the fear. Disconnect from autopilot, iska aishanata, and connect to God's source consciousness embodied, because we're fully aligned now. But you need to align with the frequency. You need to align with the truth. It's happening through your consciousness ultimately, as well as my activations, especially the last 3, will really help you with this. So, but you know within, you don't need, you know, even my or anyone else's activations, healings, anyone to tell you anything, because what's also right for me in one now moment might not be right for you. You know, like for example, today I had like, what I can see right now is everything is up in the air. It's like chaos in the field as everything is being fully rearranged and reset. But it's like we are deciding where the pieces fall, because we need to make the moves. Then I could today see I was kind of almost guided to book a flight somewhere for the activation on the 27th, which I see is very much connected to, again, divine unions and fully physicalizing them, like the full return of the magic gray queens and kings and full taking over our realities as in full ignition of new earth. This is what we're doing here. This is what we came for. We're fully completing our missions right now. Uska Aishanata. What do you believe is possible right now? Your imagination is everything. But yeah, you need to clear out any doubts, worries, insecurities, all of that shit, all fears that are ultimately not real. It's imagination. It's all made up if you really go down into it. Because the thing is, if you can't clear it, if you can't become detached from the worst case scenario and just become okay with it in your mind, it might happen in your reality just to show you you're going to make it through, even if you're going to squeeze through. But then it's your perception of what's happening that's changing everything. That's what's healing. When you understand there are no victims, victimizers, we have all signed up for this, as well as getting the lessons. It's the both end. But you need to let go now of these inverted programs, shame, guilt, all of this. Yeah, you should feel a twinge. You should say, no, that wasn't so good. Let me say sorry or whatever. Correct this, both end. And then it's corrected in your field, because again, you know, and it might take a few times to get these things, but because again, it's taken us a while to get so kind of twisted in our heads. And it's like the brain that has been under a huge attack. Okay, and especially the masculine. So the masculine right now is fully rising, because as the feminine rises, he rises. They are one. That's the main thing here. That he no longer feels separate from her. The same as when she fell, all fell. That's the whole thing. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter man or woman. Like we've been all things ultimately at one point throughout the eons. And again, the new Crisis Affair is an androgynous blueprint. And also the twin flames bring this back fully together. And the planet. That's why, you know, again, this is all about the collective Hiragamic Union event, physicalizing this, bringing back together the tribes. And I truly feel on the 27th, this is it. I'm going to post the link to this later. Again, I've already put stuff together, but again, today was so much up, so I was thinking I was traveling for this, but now the decision is we're teleporting. Because I'm not supposed to travel on my own, and I couldn't find any playmates as such, which I understand it's very last minute. But again, there is no time, as well as I was then asked to just let it all go and do nothing, so to say, at least for a little while, until I know exactly what to do. And that's the thing all the time, because again, at the moment, it's like all up in the air. And it's like, there's so many possibilities. And I felt like the push to do something, but then I was asked to just let it go, because also that's part of the feminine right now, to let the masculine rise up and come into action. Because he needs to step up in action so she can fully anchor the supermagnetism right now. He has to seal the container. He's gonna rise hot and light instead of hot and heavy. But yeah, so that's what's happening. And that's just what it is. It's an anarchy. Because two become three, to become one. And that's, you know, it really is. Because I could feel the masculine today really moving in, because again, also the activation yesterday was very much about the masculine really feeling no more separate from the feminine, because this is what causes the distortions. You know, I mean, again, there are many, and we talked about them in the call. You can, again, access that if you want to. And I mean, there are many layers to it, but it's like, it doesn't matter which side we've been on, you know, there needs to be a big forgiveness in, and no longer feeling ourselves separate from, you know, especially the opposite gender, because that's where the ultimate split and division has happened. And we've all made mistakes. And now that we've learned from the lesson, when we really trust ourselves, our true self, have come back to the true self, we find our true beloved, and we can then trust in our love, in our heart, no more the monkey mind. And when you fully trust in the heart, it fully ignites. This is the full monadic activation and ultimately our planetary ascension, as I see it, connected with the polar magnetic field shift, which shifts the collective consciousness. The return of the supermagnetism of the mother is also connected to the shift in consciousness, because she represents the unconscious. So the veil lifting, all veils, everything done, just truth, until only truth remains. I mean, fully here now. Arising from within us is the unconscious, the collective unconscious rising and becoming conscious. Because, you know, the forgetfulness, which is also part of the amnesia and the, you know, us wiping our memories, has also been down to the deep levels of shame and guilt we've been feeling, all of us. Because again, if you want to blame anyone, you can blame all of us. And we've all lived many lifetimes, especially as indigos. And we've all done stupid stuff in this lifetime also, to give us some, you know, things to work with. The point is, you need to let your ego fully go, and remember, your separate self is illusionary. And that clears all karma, because there are no more victims and victimizers here now. So you let go of all of the stories and start to write all new ones. See them for what they are, let them go. And now there's a bright new dawn, but you need to leap into it. You need to make it happen. But again, the doing comes from the being, from within the feminine. So you're feminine, whether man or woman, fully integrated merge with the masculine, fully completing our divine Hiragami cosmic reunion event in the physical, is what brings everything into balance and harmony in your reality and everything else. Everything aligns from your own alignment. And the frequency alignment is here now. Okay. So we fell all together as one, and now we rise all together as one. Because again, the feminine is what births all. She's the creatrix. So the masculine needs to also remember himself as the creatrix. He no longer feels separate from her. So he no longer feels less or more than her, which has created a lot of the distortions. And again, the same for the feminine, you know, and yeah, all of that stuff. And I'm not going to go into it anymore because it's done now. We let go of the stories. So the last question now is it love or fear? What are you choosing? You know, fear is not real. It really isn't. Sensing danger when something isn't good for you is different. And learning what is intuition and what are your kind of traumas being triggered is something you figure out as you keep deepening into the heart, keep going deeper within, keep really looking at all parts of yourself. This is all about merging shadow and light, really embracing your shadow, you know, your dark, whatever, inner feminine and masculine, and alchemize it. It's not to annihilate the ego and kill it as such, it's to alchemize, because it serves a purpose. It keeps your ego, so to say, safe in a 3D reality, but then once this is fully transcendent within a collective, it's no longer necessary. But it also has helped you to fully realize your true self. Because again, it helps you to feel, again, we need to feel when something isn't good for us, when it's like, even though everything is great and, they're smiling at us, there's something beyond the facade, the mask of what's going on here. Because again, everything, as the veil fully has dissolved now, all is known in the field. Again, connected to the magnetic field and pole shift, the full ignition of the crystalline core of the earth in full swing now, which is the supernova of the heart event, which is the divine union event. It's all the same, and it's here now. So teleportation it is, and I would see you there, because it's already there. And this is now where our frequency aligns with all of our biggest dreams, visions, prayers, all fully realized and becoming manifest, because it's already been created. So again, we're just making it visible and aligning with that frequency. Again, we're not trying to fix a 3D reality whatsoever, especially now. Keep being shown. You need to see it's not real. Your individual self is not real. You're merging with ascended master levels, like, again, depending on what you already worked on and integrated and cleared. But that's what the forerunners are doing on behalf of all, in order to fully birth this new divine organic creatrix field, which is held within that 15D container. And again, it's beyond that. But it's kind of the core physicalized kind of structure, if you want to talk about dimensional layers and levels. Yeah. So it's time to let the stories go now. You got to trust that God has a plan for you and surrender all ego, all illusions of control to source. Like even negative aliens or whoever, cabal, doesn't matter who out there, thinking they have control has been an illusion all along. They've just been, playing their part in the game, also being played by source, ultimately as puppets. All as one, because we are source. And until you get to that place where you're the creator of your story, taking full responsibility and accountability without shame, guilt, and you're so terrible, and you're not enough, all of that crap, because it's not real. It's just been playing out a story, as you fully remember now, and we're all doing this as one. You awaken on your earth, where all of this has been a bad dream. That's the real truth. That's the real reveal. The real reveal is heaven on earth. It's not the disclosure many people are waiting for, because that's just burning some other witches or warlocks on the stake. It's just the same story, just let's burn them for a change. Because it doesn't matter. It's still aspects of us. Again, anything, anybody not in frequency alignment with the new earth realities is, this is happening at a higher level. Everybody ultimately is judging themselves. It's all about, can you forgive yourself? Ultimately, because you are the judge, you are God. You see, so who is the judge really? It's you. In all cases, whether you judge yourself or others. God doesn't judge you, but he wants you to get the lessons in order to be a responsible co-creator now on your earth. That's the entry ticket. But you've got to let go of all the stories now, which is your ego, which has never been real to begin with. And the spiritual ego is just another form, and kind of worse, where you think like, I don't know, you're just stuck in a whole other level of stories and identity. And again, you have to fully let go of all of this to really truly get to know who you really are, which ultimately is God source consciousness embodied and is everything. And right now, all the ascended master levels are being purged massively. All the false light matrices, it's all done. So we're here now. As well as we now fully ignite our new realities, fully take back our stewardship, our guardianship of all new free worlds. This is our job. This is what we came here for. Uska Aishanata. So remember who the fuck you are, and let's do this. Asana Keate. And ultimately it's happening from within you, because there's only one of us here. And then as you shift from deep within, take all of your power back, your sovereignty. Remember your true essence beyond what anyone ever told you. That's where the magic happens. Okay, and it's all from the inside out that your realities change, not you now, right now, trying to make 3D happen. It's gone. Stop feeling the realities. Of course, again, keep, playing with them, and we need to still, look after yourself. but you just dissolve any remaining fears, doubts, worries that you're not supported and cared for. I don't know, I'm getting very itchy. It's also the crystalline activation. So through the supermagnetism of the mother, when you really relax, and I know there's a lot going on in the field, but those moments when you can like really lie down, and the DNA, the plasma light body, diamond sun activations, Merkaba activations are massive right now. Crystalline activations were being all the way lit up. Cosmically so, the planetary grids, that was a beautiful clearing yesterday as well. Thank you so much again. And for all your support, anyone who sent any support energetically via a donation, thank you so much. Because even if it's kind of less people in a way, like, you know, number-wise, we're getting, like, it's not definitely about numbers. It's about the quality, obviously about the people, of the people around us. And I guess throughout this whole process, it's, you know, it's a whole lot of like letting go of a lot of the stuff. And especially, you know, it's not about how many friends do you have. Are these really, you know, the people who you are, you know, friends with or work with, spend time with? Again, this is what this is all about. Are they respecting you? Are they valuing you? You know, do they see you? And again, this is not just one way, it's the other way as well. And us supporting one another. And no longer will the divine feminine just waste her time, energy, sacred life force on those that don't appreciate her, because this drains her. And she cannot allow this, because this is the integrity of the container. She needs to, like, you know, keep intact. Like, I know all the decisions I make on all layers and levels have a huge effect on the stability of the overall cosmic Christ container. So boundaries and discernment, I'm constantly keeping checking, constantly fine-tuning, you know, it's really important. And the more you do this, the more your realities harmonize. But especially because I work with groups, there is a lot of, you know, energetic alignments that are happening in that space. And again, I'm doing this on behalf of all for this cosmic Christ divine blueprint. But again, we're all part of this. So all you're doing within your own field, you're doing this on behalf of this blueprint. You know, and again, we're all carrying those puzzle pieces all together as one. You know, we're completing the picture as everybody is moving up, leveling up, fully as the sovereign, God-soul self, fully free, boundless, limitless. Okay, again, it doesn't mean you don't have fears, but you just face them and push through them, because you know all of this is an illusion. You've never been born, you can't die. You have to transcend all these lower fears. I'm also being shown like the sacral, the cosmic womb, fully heals again as the twin flames come together, because it's also us healing relationships. You know, and the solar plexus clearings and adjustments, it's all you kind of merging or relinquishing personal ego will to divine will, which then becomes one. And you just surrender, which you have to right now. That will help your solar plexus. Okay. And again, the whole chakra system shifts, and it's then kind of moving balls. But you need to fully collapse these, you know, old templates. It's also connected to implants that are fully clearing in the field around your lower chakra system, and the themes connected with them, as I just mentioned. So especially around survival, any suffering, death, relationships, sexual, co-creative energies, reproductive system, and then obviously our sense of power, which is a big theme. And this is also being fully connected as the Kundalini and Kundalini activations keep clearing our central channel, and anything that needs to be spun out for the corrected Merkaba cosmic rod and staff codes not fully aligned. But again, everybody needs to align, you know. So some people feel this is going on, and some people a lot of this. So depending on where we're at, just keep breathing through it, keep steady. Earthing helps, nature helps. I haven't even been able to do much of this. It's been raining so much this July here. Yeah, I really miss the sun at this point. But yeah, we're almost there, because the elementals are also a huge part of the clearings. We are the elementals, and you really need to, as part of your plasma light body activations, you're merging and alchemizing and clearing all of this through you. So the divine feminine no longer puts others, again, within us all, men and women alike, others before her happiness, okay, in order to try and help, heal, fix, rescue, and no longer enables anyone who's not, especially not those who are not taking responsibility for their own healing and respect their sacred energy, nurture her back also. It needs to be reciprocity. That's balance in the field. So again, thank you for so much for the people who've brought balance into my field and have listened to me, asking for support and help. Thank you, truly, really, because this really restores and also my, because it's been really hard. And again, it doesn't come from victim, but we all have had this. It's like, you need to really own, fuck, this has been a really hard journey. Like for me, this has been no freaking fun. But just, just say it as it is. This has been the hardest thing ever. And yeah, it's essential. You need to fully transcend your human ego self. So right now, remember this. To become fully free. So all the hardship, all the suffering you need to go through until it's no longer necessary. And you fully freed your freaking mind from all of the programming, which is now. Let the stories go. It's time. All new beginnings are here. Freaking leap all in, okay? Now or never. Really, truly. So that's us breaking free from anything that drains us, any negative energy, toxicity, where we give our power away. We don't properly value our own energy so far. So that's what's been draining us. That's us, again, symbolically fast, feeding into a phantom matrix, having negative entities and aliens sucking our life force. Okay, it's been used to create their realities. Again, it's about consciousness. Who's in charge of your consciousness? Everything is imagination. Also going to leave a link below to a movie that actually, I think, mainly caused my awakening, or kind of the pre-stages. It's called What the Bleep? Do We Know? It's quite old, but it's really good. And just remembering, it's like right now, especially, it's like the divine feminine is the field. Okay, she's the quantum standing wave function. I also realized fully, like when I was saying, I just want to collapse. It's the quantum standing wave function that wants to collapse. Like she is creation, she's everything. Okay, she births everything through her womb, cosmic womb, within us all right now. And I can't remember what I was wanting to say about this. That happens a lot right now. Again, you need to fully let go of your mind, surrender to the heart. I mean, ultimately, whatever I need to say, I will say. And again, what I'm transmitting is frequency streams, especially my activations and calls. There's a lot of frequency that is transmitted, and it's beyond the words. It was funny. I was reading. Oh yeah, okay. So the quantum standing wave function of the divine feminine. So as you hold this in a 0-point field, you're just looking at everything from a neutral observer perspective, as well as, again, it's okay to have things going on in your field, but you very quickly just realign them, especially as you're in the supermagnetism of the mother. Everything just aligns for you. Ultimately, everything becomes now, this is a whole new life available to us now of ease, grace, lifelong holidays, happy days. I really mean this. But you need to claim it as you let go of the stories and everything that has been. And fully liberated yourself, fully have taken all of your responsibility and accountability back, but there are no more victims, no more victimizers, and everything has been perfect. Ask to be shown the big picture. I try and share that a lot in order to bring peace and coherence to the one mind cosmic consciousness, which is now Uska Aishanata. Again, just doing my part. But we're all here to do that. Again, and we do this in every conversation, everything we think, feel. It's, again, not even what we do, it's what we are emanating in every now moment. If you are the oneness, there's just one of you here. As well as we're here to help one another, to get all the way back home. And the divine masculine now is going to seal the freaking deal, seal the container, and bring us all the way home. Because he's now fully rising in his heroic potential. Asa shakarashkashkashkaina krakera keke kuku skuaete ya ainuka aira ka ishkaina nana skuskaina sunayana. And they're fully unified and pure to divine love, unifying all tribes, all races, all race, all one again. The end of suffering, the end of all wars, the end of all division, the end of all this false matrix nonsense, and all new beginnings. The beginning is the end is the beginning, the Alpha and the Omega. So they rise fully together as one, again, because they fell as one, because they are one. And that's the whole point. So the feminine no longer feels separate from the masculine and vice versa. Okay? Nothing missing. And as this fully comes to union within you, if you've manifested a divine counterpart for you, they will one way or another pop up in your reality now. Because it's time. It's the full alignment within the cosmic monad with our true self. Enough of us have aligned with their true self, are their true self, and this is what ignites ultimately. It's you in full self-love and alignment with the cosmic Christ. It has to be felt. It's a journey, but ultimately a child could do this. You just need to simplify, as well as, this is here the accelerated course. So, love is truth, trusting and believing in God, which means full surrender to the mind, to the heart. You got to trust that God has a plan for you. Just let go of all ego control. It's not real, okay? Full surrender to divine will is true freedom. Because what we learned, the false ego will, is totally inverted. You have no control generally. You can master your realities. You can give it your best shot, but then you need to really let go of any attachment to outcome. That's a 0-point field. This is where you collapse the realities from. That's what the Cosmic Mother is doing. Within this magnetism, everything that she needs just flows to her, for all of us. And everything that's repelled by that energy of total self-worth, total self-love, total self-empowerment, as well as equality at one with all, everything is just going to ultimately be projected out from within your heart space into your reality. You need to remember it's an inside-out projection. That's where your power lies. You shift it from deep within. Especially when you get stressed, keep going within. Take time to become calm. 222. It shifts realities. Whenever I ever gotten squeezed or whatever, it's like instead of getting into 3D survival mode and trying to fix things, it's like, no, just meditate. Just literally do nothing. And then once I know I'm in a higher frequency, then I do something out of inspiration, and you have totally different opportunities, different things come up for you. Because when you are in the frequency of miracles and gratitude, no matter what's been thrown at you, miracles happen. I have lived it for 5 years now, and it's brought me this far. And yeah, again, we all had our challenges, but I know the success that's here now is me in full alignment with my true self, which makes, which is ascension, which is me fulfilling my destiny and prophecy. And it's not, being reflected in how much money we own, if we have a nice house or a nice car, or, a beautiful family to, present or show off. And most of the pictures we're being shown, they're not all that anyway. We all have challenges. I don't think anyone has had an easy ride over the last few years. Again, if one suffers, we all suffer. It's always been reflected within the consciousness. Can we all help each other heal and bring each other home, as well as we can't do it for the others? It's the both ends. But again, knowing how and when and whom to help, how to spend your sacred life force energy, your healing elixir. It's it's like people listening to me, especially my calls or groups, it's a whole vibe. It's a frequency. That's what, it's a container I'm holding energetically. It's an energy that people are buying into, ultimately, that people are attracted to. Again, it's frequency resonance. And that also attracts us to our true soul family and beloveds. If we're in our true self, true soul energy frequency signature, we attract those who are also in their true self. And this is what we've been through. So we cleared out all that's not true and all the false people in our lives, because again, we've been not in our true self. We've been deceiving and betraying ourselves ultimately. And then we have these kind of people come up in our lives holding up the mirror until we get, okay, wait, yeah, that's why that happened. And again, there's no one at fault here. It's just about getting the lessons. You're in a game, you're in a play, and now it's like, now we're going to do a different play. This one is over. So let it go. Once you learned your lessons, and then we now move the fuck on. All right, done. So just resolve it all and then let it go, once and for all. And the quantum observer effect, seeing everything from the neutral observer perspective, is you as the cosmic mother holding the quantum standing wave function, which is thought forms. It's sine waves. That's all reality is. It's all a simulation projection of the mind, the one mind. Iska Aishanata. Remember fully, and then you let it go, dissolve, collapse the standing wave function, and then you let God dream new earth through you from this place of total surrender. Because the cosmic Mothers Supermagnetism is basically the frequency of the 0-point field of the Godhead. And it's now being emanated out from within our heart centers and from within the crystalline core of the earth until we're fully there. So we keep accreting in frequency as we're doing with these activations. And again, anyone who was part of the activations, it takes a good, 3 days roughly to fully integrate. And there's still loads going on. And again, this is happening on behalf of all. So when also, this is a big thing about, like, especially the masculines, to stop being afraid of your own inner power, because we ourselves abused it, or we gave it away, we mismanaged it, we misused it. So we often drained, allowed other people to abuse it. And this has created, again, great shame. This is what we're remembering. But then again, you just need to, doesn't matter what memories are coming up. You just need to see you're just a player in a game. Let go of your individual self that releases you of all the karma and the storylines and this false matrix, okay? And the divine feminine within us all is all about remembering our own true gnosis, wisdom. And it's not just about repeating what other people have taught us or we've learned in some course or read somewhere. It's remembered. Because again, what we're remembering, our true cosmic history records, haven't been available yet. They're written into your DNA, cellular memory, and they're fully igniting along with the crystalline core and grids of Earth and interdimensional Stargate systems. They're going to creatrix field, all new creations. This is a cosmic reset. All right. So remember, and only the doors and gateways meant for you, aligned with your own sacred keys and codes, will open. So you can't open, or, what's not meant to happen will not happen. What is meant to happen will ultimately happen. Doesn't matter how much we try either way. So the key is to let go of resistance, fighting anything, holding on to anything, attachments. As you let go of all of this, that's flow state. That's where the magic happens. The same as now we've manifested all of this, you just let go, as well as you keep listening. So again, me not doing anything right now and holding space doesn't mean that you should be doing this. And again, you just need to from one now moment to the next. And again, it's not as if I'm not doing anything, obviously, but you get me, like what I was kind of looking at, kind of decisions. Because you need to just feel sometimes out, like, how about this? And then it's like, no. And then how about this? Maybe. Or then it's like, no, just let go. Just don't do anything right now. And just, you will feel and know from one now moment to the next. Again, this is not linear. There's no time, really not. What's the right thing to do, and you will know what you need to know when you need to know it. And it's all about frequency alignment and not timing. And healing is all about the shift in consciousness, not the length of time you're spending with this. We can go around in circles for freaking ever. But now we got right to the center of the vortex, which is the heart, okay? And as this fully ignites with true self-love, before anyone ever told you what to be, how to be, why to judge yourself, but why anything is wrong with you in the first place, which creates the distortions, that's the key to all of it, to your ascension, to freedom. It's the frequency of true self-love, ultimately, which ignites your DNA. It's love. Fear closes it down. So right now, we're all presented, everyone. Are you going down with the fear-mongering false matrix, or rising in your true essence and original innocence before all this mayhem happened, with the lessons learned, on your beginnings? All right, now claim it. So again, it's a both end. It's full surrender, as well as keep listening to your intuition, because you've got boots on the ground and you're making it happen. Because God needs boots on the ground to anchor frequency, to do anything here. We're here to be the superheroes. Remember, this is coming up big now. All right? Now, make yourself proud. Fulfill your own heroic potential. All right? Keep a lookout for the activation on the 27th. Which will be the return of the true magic royal queens and kings. okay? The return, full return of the Emerald Order in body, and divine marriage between the masculine and feminine original twin flames counterparts. Again, the Magic Grail Queens and Kings are back, fully reclaiming our land and our realities. In this now, it's already here, okay? Completing any freaking moment now. So keep tuning into what you're seeing, what you're perceiving beyond the 3D, so to say, because that's what makes it visible. That's what brings it into manifestation. You have to believe in your gifts and your abilities. That's you valuing them. That's you respecting, you know, that's you no longer, your brain gaslighting you, the masculine, the feminine heart, of that she's crazy or that's, oh, that's not real. And yeah, where you're doing this to yourself. No more. Your divine feminine births creation. That's your true power. Claim it all the way back. No more gaslighting yourself. No more putting yourself down. No more thinking you're not enough. You don't have talents or not enough talents. Okay? Your true self fully shining is what literally the world is waiting for and what heals all. Like, it's a big part of it because it's your true self-love again. No matter what anyone thinks, how many people love it or not. Okay? That's why it's so important to just create as a child without attachment to outcome, even if, I don't know, you know, tomorrow my YouTube is being taken off or my laptop goes up in flames. You need to be okay with that shit, ultimately. And also what's happening right now, that's why so much fear is coming up for people, is the 3D is going up in flames. You need to be okay with everything literally dissolving in front of your eyes. No attachment to anything, no creation. Anything in the material is not real, ultimately. It's not the real because it's not permanent. The only thing that's permanent is pure consciousness. That's your eternal self remembering its true self. Your God self. That's you fully ascended and free. That's the consciousness you need to align with. All the other bullshit you need to fully let go. Again, it doesn't mean that you need to live on the freaking streets, but it needs to be that you need to be okay with the worst case scenarios. As you become okay with them, you lose your attachment to the illusion of the material, which is not real. And as you're transcending the illusions. And then you can create what you want, so to say, but in alignment with what ultimately Source is showing you is available. If you really tuned in every now moment, you will feel out what is available, what is possible. And again, from one now moment to the next, you need to let yourself be carried. But now affirm, ease, grace, happy days, lifelong holidays are here. A whole new way of living, but you need to claim it. From within the supermagnetism of the mother, she's now returning the unconscious. Everything that was hidden is being revealed. Everything is known in this field. The new Earth fully online, the new Emerald and Diamond Crystal Rosette network is the new telepathic interdimensional communication network where everything is known, what anyone has ever done, so to say, who anyone is, anyone's real intentions. You don't need to compare this and prove anything on screens. It's known. It's written into our cosmic consciousness records, being fully ignited and known in the field. But again, we just remember as a collective the true reality without all of these inversions in the consciousness, all of the catastrophes ever happened, all of the fallen timelines fully wiped now. That's why you need to let it fully go. It was all a dream. Let it go as a dream. Let it go. Okay? Focus on what's real. New Earth. That's the only real true reality there ever was. Jumping all the way to our ancient future, where we should have always been. Heaven on earth, Eden, here now. But we make it so as you listen to your guidance and your heart, which is God speaking to you. You need to listen now. Fully surrender your mind. That's a polar magnetic field shift. That's a shift in the consciousness. That's a shift back to the natural laws of the cosmos. Back to the law of one. So make it happen. There was some noise. But this is like the law of one. I mean, this is all we stand here for. That's the Holy Trinity embodied. That's no more separation. That's oneness. That's the unity field. This is New Earth. But you need to embody that consciousness. So no more separation, which is fragmentation in your own field. Keep going and loving it all up. Keep integrating it. Any trigger, any suffering, keep going into gratitude. You need to keep aligning with, you need to switch everything around. You know, when I go through feelings of disempowerment, I know I'm ultimately just clear on the opposite. So afterwards, I feel more empowered. If it's anxiety, afterwards, you feel more peace. Because it's just, it's the central nervous system, the grid's fully clearing, healing. depending what anyone still has to clear in their field. If it's there, it's there. It will come up and out. All right? So just see it for what it is. Stop believing in it. Give it love. And let it all the way go now. Because it's ultimately all thought forms and belief systems, stories that created distortions. Wipe. Okay? This whole false Akash memory, done. Make the quantum leap. It's here now. So we're home now, within the heart, and the whole cosmos is our home. All right. So let's seal the container. Kick out the remaining invaders as you fully reclaim your sovereign free self. Follow your heart. It knows the way, which is divine law. After all, it's a bridge between you and everything, isn't it? So now, let's make it so. Asarata Kinashite. So the details are below. Anyone who wants to access the replays of the last calls or the Ascension Express, where this is all part of. And thank you so much for anyone who has all of your support, all of the good work you're doing out there, in all ways, shapes, and forms. Just keep aligning with your true self. All else comes from here, truly. Okay? And only you know who that is. But as you and your true self, you then activate this within others. Again, it's like a whole frequency. It's your aura healing. And that healed aura heals others. This is what I'm ultimately doing here. That's what's healing you when you're watching me. Okay? That's why it's so important to live through experience and teach that instead of just what we've learned, because that's what ultimately heals it in other people's field. Because if we just speak something that's not ultimately aligned in your own field and healed, it just doesn't have the same effect. It really does. Because otherwise, because I was reading actually this last thing, a channel, it's called Astral Doorway, I think, on YouTube. And anyway, he just said, because I know he's also stepping back from his work, and I really literally just have watched a couple of his videos, not more. But anyway, but I just saw a post, and he was saying that he basically he put together an AI bot that has kind of drawn all of, like, a lot of the teachings he draws his knowledge from, and it basically gives almost more rounded answers than he would give. And he basically admitted that most of what he shares and teaches is learned. It's not really from experience. So it's like, you know, can a bot replace you? Or is this true gnosis and wisdom that has been learned from many, many lifetimes of experiences? This is the whole thing. What I'm doing here doesn't come just from this lifetime. I've worked hard for this for many, many lifetimes to preserve the ancient gnosis of the Christ, our ancient true history records. They're engraved within us. And again, we all do this on behalf of one. Activate this within each one. We all hold pieces of this. And they have been returned to the rightful owners because they've been taken and inverted. That's what we see out there in the ascension and religious arena. All these inverted true teachings of the Christ. And we now bring back our true gnosis, which then also ignites our new heaven upon the earth. And again, this has been earned throughout many lifetimes. Because again, you need to live it in order to adjust your DNA blueprint, which we have now. And it's like all the timelines, everything we've ever lived, culminating in this now. So, love or fear, it's your choice. Jump high, jump all in. Okay, that's the only way to truly live. Because you need to be the happy fool in this grand play of creation and have fun with this now. To become the master of the dream, the diamond avatar fully ignited is the Christ child coming out to play fully. Okay, no more fear. And even if you feel fear, you do it anyway. That's how you get rid of it. And that's how you transcend it. And that's how you clear your DNA and ignite your multidimensional higher identities and, you know, divine blueprint, DNA, RNA, quantum codes. The cosmic quantum tree of life that's coming up of the 27th activation, and us really returning the ancient prophecy of the Kathas, returning the book of love and the tree of life. Yeah. So just keep out for an announcement for that. And again, it's already happening in the field. So tune into the multidimensional field, okay? It's all about the telepathic field. And you can't be afraid of anyone seeing you anymore. It's just your ego, really. This is not a time for pride or anything to hold you back. That's all the ego. Just say bye-bye. Thank you for the experience. I know better now. Okay. Your eternal self. It's just, again, we're here now to fully live our life to the fullest and no longer be afraid. All right. Because of our experiences. Once you can trust yourself, once you really know yourself, you know who to trust, what to trust, and what is right for you and what isn't. And even if, again, any experience will only keep bringing you closer back to your true self if you're going to be true to yourself, if you're willing to look. And we always keep doing that. We constantly expand. This is about the expansion of consciousness. Okay? So keep expanding, keep growing, and let's have fun with this now. All right. Thank you so much. So much love, so many blessings. Bye, 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 bye.